Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, VJose32 proudly presents What's on Deck. And if you ain't done with that, I got 2 words for you. Suffer it. Alright, that makes no sense, but it is WrestleMania weekend, so I'm a little bit hyped up for it, so I figured, what the hey, we'll do something DX style. Let's get on with What's on Deck, your weekly look at what is going on in the world of playing cards. This, by the way, gives you what it is. The Resurrected from Peter Turner. It's a pretty interesting deck. Made by an unknown printing company. Review to come sometime in the next couple of months. I don't know when. If you want to see it, let me know. I'll get it up. That goes for any of the decks I've received over the last few weeks that you've seen on my unboxing videos. If you want to see them reviewed, let me know and I'll get them up. Because I got tons of reviews coming. Anyways, let's look at what's on Kickstarter first of all. And we'll do a recap first, like I've been doing the last couple weeks. It seems to make my videos a lot faster. We got the Bicycle Stained Glass Phoenix playing cards from Collectible Playing Cards. It is funded 7 days ago, pretty well funded. Their Bicycle Solsticium, I think that's how I pronounce it, by Collectible Playing Cards, is 27% funded 21 days ago. We'll see if that one funds or not. It's slowly getting there. Sakura Playing Cards by Francis Garcia is funded 20 days to go. Pix Playing Cards by Fields Crafters is 53% funded 12 days to go. May or may not make it. We'll see. The Colored Stripes Playing Cards by Michael Samuelson is 9% funded 7 days to go. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm pretty confident it's not going to happen. Masterpiece Playing Cards by Lynn Patricia, as I mentioned that last week, is 32% funded, 13 days to go. I'm not confident that one's going to fund. Diva Playing Cards, first edition by Alexandre Matencio, is funded, 8 days to go. It's not bad. Looking deck. Devastation, silver edition from Jody Eklund is well funded, 9 days to go. There's quite a bit of new decks here I've seen. Windrose Playing Cards, white edition by Anthony Carvelli, is 14% funded 10 days to go. Don't see it happening. Seraphin Luxury Playing Cards by Noah White is 70% funded 11 days to go. I don't see it happening. I can't recall if I mentioned Masquerade last week or not. I don't think that I did. Coffeeism Playing Cards. No, that's a new one. Never mind. Black Tails Playing Cards, Chapter 1 by Ed Crown is 44% funded, 56 hours to go. Not going to happen. Body Cards by Sense Labs is 11% funded, 5 days to go. It's not going to happen. House of the Rising Spade by Requiem Team, Lorenzo Gazziotti, is well funded, 19 days to go. Definitely worth checking out. Bloom Playing Cards by Edgar Montaro is 77% funded, 15 days to go. It may fund at this rate. Oh my goodness. Arco Reprint by Will Roya, Playing Card Decks, is well funded, 15 hours to go. Circulus Relaunch by Tefepa Cards Dealer is 35% funded, 17 days to go. I'm not sure it's going to happen. Strain Wars by Jason Shepard. It's not a repeat. It's here again for like the 10th time. It's 17% funded, 13 days to go. It's doing exactly about as good as I expected it would. It's not going to fund. Interesting. So a lot of new decks to look at here this week. This might be a longer video, unfortunately. Tiny Micro Travel Deck, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that one last week, by Kabuki Babuski, is very well funded, had a very low goal, 4 days to go, not a fan. If the deck is like this small, it's not very user friendly. Sun Tzu's Deck 2 Relaunch by D. Rodriguez is funded 5 days to go. That's what happens when you have a relatively low goal. Not only that, after it failed to fund the first time, he lowered the goal and he increased the price of the decks while also minimizing the quality because it's now NPC. So, yeah. Alright, let's see what we got here. We got Bumble playing cards by FT, whoever FT is. It's 20% funded, 25 days to go. Very, very low goal. So the quality, I don't think it's going to be great. I don't know who's producing it, but I don't think it's going to be great. This is what you get in the faces. At least they've put some effort into it. I won't give them that much. It's an interesting bee-inspired tuck case as well. Let's save the bees. Except this deck isn't saving the bees. It is going to be put by NPC. A 310 GSM linen card stock. You see the Ace of Spades. Nice yellow color on the faces. Black on the hearts and diamonds with yellow pips. Very simple court cards with bees. Bzz. The backs, they're okay. Aside from the fact that they're one way because it says Bumble. And I'm not exactly sure what Bumble means. I guess it's the company name, but it has nothing to do with bees. And it's very unnecessary for it to be on the back design. They could have done something different instead of making it an unnecessary one-way back design. I mean, it's not a horrible deck. I'm not a humongous fan of having cards that are half black and half yellow on the faces, but it fits the theme. Court cards are a little bit simple, slightly repetitive. Actually, they're completely repetitive, except that there is a different pip on the court card, but they're the same court cards throughout. You've also got a little bit unnecessary suit indicators in the corners of the court cards. I mean, I guess a little bit unnecessary. I guess it's not that unnecessary. It's a little bit different than what we're used to for suit indicators, where they are, so it's a little bit weird. And the Jokers are like half and half in the color. You know, it's an okay deck. Quality should be decent since it's NPC. But yeah, it could be better. They could also show us the back design a little bit clearer. They don't. This is all you get to see at the back design. You don't get to see the full back design. You get to see half the back design. So, I mean, it's an okay deck. It's an interesting idea. At least they've put some effort into it. It's not completely standard like most decks. But at 17 euros each, no thank you. Not to mention they only ship to certain countries. What that means, I'm not sure. And what the shipping rate is like, I'm not sure either, but we'll find out. Let's have a look here at what this cost to ship to Canada for one deck. 7 euros to ship one deck to Canada. I'm looking at $37 Canadian for one deck. 24 euros. No thank you. Moving on, we got the Voyagers Square playing cards by Vision Alta. It is 31% funded, 27 days to go. Again, a very low goal. A fairly low goal, anyways. This one, the back design is not great. It's just 4 pips. Not very creative or unique or anything like that. They actually have a 4,500 Canadian, 2,500 pound goal. So it's, I mean, it's not that small of a goal, but it's not a huge goal. The most unique thing about the deck is that it is, in fact, a square deck. And they've made it so that each card on the face is completely rotational, as you can see. I guess if you want to call it that, you can turn the card any way, and it looks the same. It's not just mirror image, it's like, you know, square mirror imaged. Each suit has its own color, which is cool. They've replaced the aces for some reason with a 1, which I guess is European style. 300 GSM cards stock on an aqueous finished box. Possibly NPC, but I'm not sure if they actually produce square cards. What is this supposed to be? A gaff card? I mean, it's interesting. It's unique. There's also apparently a iced edition. Only 27 available. It's holographic. It's got a nicer back design than the other one, even though it is still a one-way back design. Not just in the pips, but also in the design. Also, they'll allow you to customize your own deck with your own pictures. No, thank you. Right. That's got to be the pretty interesting brick box. I'm not sure who's producing them. I'm assuming NPC or something like that. Something not good. Not great. That was coming for a while now. I apologize. Excuse me. A more professional YouTuber would have cut that out. Not me. I'm doing this unedited. Anyways, it's interesting. I don't know why the name Voyager, what that has to do with anything. It just seems like a random name. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Next, we got Canvas Artistry playing cards, where we can take out the word plain. It's not important. It's just Canvas Artistry cards is what it is. By Ben Herbot. 10% funded, 23 days to go. It's not the first time I've seen a project like this, and probably not the last. And there is absolutely no images of the cards on the project page, which is a fail, in my opinion. These cards, they have no faces. It's just double backers made for cardistry. Painting inspired, obviously. Not a fan. Wow, that is a big goal. €7,000 goal. Wow, look at the difference. €7,000 is $11,000 Canadian. My currency sucks. But anyways, that's a definite pass. Next, we got Charlemagne playing cards / Swarovski. By Christopher. This is not his first deck. Is 96% funded. 29 days to go, and I believe it's printed by Noir Arts. He previously did another deck, which was also pretty nice. That was the... He's got a website, Christopher.com. Oh, he did these ones. His name branded Christopher playing cards. This one is not bad. I did pledge for it, but I'm having second thoughts on that. It looks pretty nice. Also got these nice coins, I guess they are. Pretty big goal, but it is funded. €6,800. Based on a Russian painter of historical genre and battle scenes. He's the creator of a popular design for playing cards known as the Satin deck, which I've never heard of. I do like that artwork you see on the face. It's very cool. Nice back design. This is why I like this one. It's very nice looking. I don't know what the quality is going to be like. We'll see if it says who's producing it. But it looks very nice as far as the artwork is concerned. Very, old school inspired. I'm a fan of that for sure. Very nice court cards. Very nice back design. Very nice looking tuck case. Biggest question I have is the quality. Selective varnish, deep embossing with gold foil. Gold ink on the tuck case. More foil embossing, etc., etc. Blue foil. Very glamorous tuck case. Inspired by jewelry as well, as you can see. The Swarovski element. I'm not sure how they get the rights to this Swarovski. I know that's a name brand from a jewelry store. I actually helped in the construction of one at a local mall. So I'm not sure how they can have that logo in there or use that name, but it is what it is. 360 GSM stock, at least for the tuck box. Looks pretty nice. Numbered. Looks like there's going to be 100 numbered decks. Standard. Well, it's showing you kind of a standard face. It has a linen air finish. 310 GSM French master finish, it says. I believe. It says it's printed by Macwell. I'm not sure who Macwell is. I'm curious. I'm interested, obviously. But it looks very nice. Very nice looking tuck. Nice looking cards. And I have, some hope that it's going to be a very nice deck. Next, we got a new one from Steve Minty. It's Minty Fresh. It is well funded already. 40 days to go. Very long project. The Thorns and Roses deck. Or decks. There's two decks. There's a Thorns deck and a Roses deck, of course. Duh. The Shakespearean playing cards is what they are. Here's the Roses, or one of the, yeah, it's the Roses deck, obviously in red. Skulls on it. With a lot of royal type elements. And then the Thorns deck, it also has some skulls and crowns. Very interesting, unique looking back designs. But very nice faces. One deck is in red, and the other is in green. They have a lot of gold pips and colors. Beautiful aces. I like these little corner details they added in. Artists should love them. Nice court cards, very beautiful, and they're also different from one deck to the other, as you can see in this Thorn deck. The Queen of Hearts is apparently committing suicide. Very nice artwork all around, and it's nice to see some differences from one deck to the other, even if they're minor. Nice custom pips. I'm a fan of this work. I'm a fan of all Steve Minty decks. Oh, the Jokers are the Fool. That's a nice change. I am a fan of his decks. I am a fan of his art, and I'm definitely a fan of these, and I recommend checking him out. He's got some super limited editions available as well. Decent prices, $13 US each. Is not bad, and you know they're going to be very good decks. So moving on, we've got the Betty Wicked playing cards from John Daniel Taylor IV, 68% funded, 28 days to go. Very super low goal. It's almost funded, of course. One-way back design as usual. It's inspired by his comic books that I'm sure most people have never even heard of before. And as you can see, there they are. He's had a whole bunch of other decks before. May or may not be available. Don't know who's producing them. Judging by the Ace of Spades, which is just a standard pip. Not a good printing company. Made in China quality. And it's just not my cup of tea. There's very little customization, from what I can see. Just a one-way back design. Yeah, it's horrible. Next up, my apologies, but I think it's horrible. Next up, we got the Last Empire Silver Gold poker playing cards from Owen Gann. 16% funded, 29 days to go. Let's have a look, shall we? I haven't looked at these yet, so bear with me. It looks like an interesting looking tuck case with fleur-de-lis and very much Empire Kingdom inspired. Aha. Well, first of all, I'm not a huge fan of decks where the aces don't even have a pip on them. Like, you don't see a pip on this, you just see some armor. And then the court cards are, well, they're interesting. Custom pips throughout. Here's a back design on one of the decks. I don't understand. Why is there... Are you telling me these spades and clubs are white, hearts and diamonds are an off-white color, like a gold color? I'm not a fan of that. Big pips, one-way pips, one-way back design, very one-way in multiple ways, and not a very good back design in my opinion, for my liking. I like that each court card has a little story and represents different figures, but it's not really my cup of tea. Okay. Here you can see another thing that I dislike. All the cards have the same color. There's no distinguishing between the reds and the blacks. Non-standard aces. The court cards aren't bad. They're pretty interesting, uniquely done. Then there's a second deck. That's a gold deck. So there's a silver deck and there's a gold deck, which is the same thing, except that it is in a gold color. There's an original box and an upgraded box, which they're not bad. I still disagree with the one-way back design. They should make it different, so that's not a one-way back design. There's a coin. It's custom sealed. $20 US for one deck. No, thank you. That's rather expensive for one deck printed by who knows what company. Singaporean producer. It's a Singaporean creator. Delivery. They can also do delivery through FedEx, DHL, TNT, UPS, and Singpost. Make up your mind. Which one are you using? Use one, pick it, and go with it. Personally, I don't know who's producing it. I don't know what the quality is going to be like. At least I haven't seen who's producing it at first glance, and it seems rather pricey for what it is. I'm not sure it's going to be fun, but who knows? It's definitely kind of interesting. Next, we got the enliven playing cards. This is blue edition by Brian Naratasai. 3% funded, 49 days to go. If a project needs 2 months to fund, it's not worth it. It's not going to be good. And I can almost guarantee you it's not going to be good. $7,000 US goal. I don't think it's going to fund. There's your ace of spades. It says, abracadabra. You would need some magic in order to get this funded. I'm assuming. The back design is not great at all. Very, very simple. Minimalist. And the court cards, they're custom. Real people, I assume. I'm not a huge fan. And completely dislike the fact that they don't even bother to show you most of the court cards. They just, here you go. Here's a picture of some of the cards. Really? Apparently, there's also selling magic file and video instructions. These are going to be printed by USB-C, only 1,000. Recolored red pips. That's interesting. I want to have a look at his previous, but I know he's done this deck before. I don't know if it's funded or not. My gut tells me no. Okay, yeah, he did produce one other deck, the Freedom playing cards, which did fund. However, the Enliven that he did before did not fund. So it's basically a relaunch, except it's in blue instead of red. He had $6,400 US last time, so he did not even hit $7,000 out of a $9,500 goal. And he did change it. He did customize the court cards. However, he might have done better with standard court cards. I'm not sure a lot of people who backed it before because it had standard court cards and is more magic friendly will back it this time. I don't know. Personally, I didn't back it before. I still ain't backing it. Next up, we got Project Olympians by Sky Member Presents. It is 33% funded, 24 days to go. Very big goal, apparently. Also, it's a pricey deck, from what I've seen. It's all about Greek myth. $32,500 goal, Singaporean goal, which is $31,000 Canadian, which is, it's into the 20,000 US dollar range, mid $20,000 US. That's a lot of money. That is a massive goal. $30 US for one deck. Are you kidding me? Apparently, there's an optional autograph. Autograph of who? Who is this guy? Why is this autograph for his deck that expensive? Because I don't think that it's worth it. $30 US for one deck. That's going to be about $40 Canadian. It's $39 Canadian, so I was right. No, thank you. I ain't paying that much for a deck of cards on Kickstarter. Not like this. It's an interesting back design, though. Interesting faces. It looks like it's Artistry friendly. There you go. It looks a lot better borderless as opposed to with a border, as you can see there. It's nice that they tried it both ways. Interesting artwork on the faces. I do like the artwork style. I do like the deck. I don't like the price. I would be, inclined to pledge for it if it was like $15 US, but not at this price. I don't see what makes it, worth that kind of money. It's well thought out though. It's designed nicely. There's a lot of details. Nice tuck case. Very interesting, unique tuck case that probably is part of the reason why it costs so much money. The tuck case is made from curious metallic chocolate by Antalis from France and gold foil stamping. Yeah, how about you just keep it a little bit more traditional and less expensive, is what I would say. And still not sure who's producing the deck. I don't know if it's USB-C. It is 2500. It's printed by USB-C. So yeah, it's really expensive in my opinion. Then again, $30 US. It might not be that bad with that special touch. I might think about it. We'll see. I'll think about it. I will definitely think about it. Moving on, we got Masquerade playing cards by Brain Vessel Creative. 60% funded, 23 days to go. Let's move on here. It's a very interesting looking deck. Interesting back design. Some interesting red little details of lips and hearts and diamonds in there. A lot of details in the back design and the faces. There's definitely something masquerading in there. It's a pretty interesting looking deck. I believe it's USB-C printed. There is a black box edition, and there's a special limited edition tuck case as well. Just a different tuck case. Not a fan of tuck swaps, because basically it's a creator trying to make people buy two tuck cases for one deck. $15 US for one deck is a little bit pricey. I'm not quite sure I like the style for me personally, but it's definitely interesting, very unique, part of their artist series by Dennis Tell, I believe it is. Colette. Denise Colette. Sorry, that's it. I got confused with all these letters and the signature. Denise Colette. There we go. It's definitely interesting. I wasn't a huge fan of the last artist series deck they did. I'm still not sure I'm a fan of this one, but who knows? There's also this Marty Gras edition that is locked. I'm not sure if they're going to unlock it. And I'm pretty certain it's USB-C printed based on their previous decks. Next we got the Coffeeism playing cards by Carl Sock. It is funded, 25 days to go, very low goal. It's all about coffee and being addicted to it. And definitely whoever designed this looks like they had one too many coffees. It's interesting, obviously, the design. Very interesting court cards. I agree, the slash through the court card, somebody mentioned to me in a comment, the slash through the court card is rather weird. It's definitely interesting. It looks like it was designed, or drawn with coffee, obviously. It's animals for the court cards. I don't see what that has to do with coffee, though. And it's an interesting back design. More animals on the aces. And you can see it looks like that somebody spilled coffee on the cards. It's nice that they're showing us images of every single card, but I'm not a fan of that. Every card is just a different animal. It's interesting, but it's not my cup of tea. And then the court cards, they got animals, and they did a slash through the center and made them mirror imaged. Why? Why not just leave them one way like the other cards? That just seems kind of weird and unnecessary. The back design is pretty simple, standard, classic looking. It is one way with the stains. An interesting tuck case, but I'm not a fan. I mean, they're making up words like coughism. I'm sure isn't a word. Also, I don't see what animals have to do with coffee or being addicted to coffee. What it is, I guess here, and it says here, is coffee paintings. But I don't see what that has to do with being addicted to coffee. 55 cards, or 55 designs. I don't know who's producing it. £10 on the early bird. 18 bucks Canadian. No, thank you. Moving on. We've got, oh God. The Antagon Royal Playing Cards. That is also a red seal limited edition by Mikhail Statola. Looks like he might actually have a project that funds. Good grief. This is just a relaunch of his previous decks. Much lower goal, I think. Or just actually, it's a pretty decent sized goal. 4,800 euros. Of course, there's a limited edition, so that brings up some extra money. It's now being printed by More Arts. Originally, it was a bicycle branded USB-C deck. It's a nice looking top case. Not a huge fan of the faces. I like the artwork on the court cards, except that they would be better as a one-way, I think, with the full body. And I'm not a fan of, not a huge fan of the style of the pips and the faces in general. And certainly not a fan of the fact that every card, every suit has the same color to it, in the index at least. That makes it definitely not user-friendly. If you're going to have black suits and red suits, great. But make that on the, put that in the index as well. And then all the court cards are different colors. They're going to stand out like a sore thumb. The back design's very nice. The faces could be better. It's not a horrible concept or idea, but it's definitely could be better. And he hasn't done anything to make it better. He's just been relaunching the same thing over and over. Moving on, we got the Nervous Playing Cards by CT Kevin K. 16% funded, 30 days to go. I'm not sure it's going to fund. I'm pretty confident it's not going to fund. Here you see some of the faces. There's a Jack of Hearts and there's a Ace of Hearts. It's over $4,000 US in a goal. I don't think that's going to happen. Printed by, who knows? Apparently the idea came to him as he prepared lesson plans for a pharmacy technician certification class. That doesn't mean it makes a good idea for playing cards. It's all about the nervous system. You see that incorporated on the aces. Not a huge fan of the indexes. And I will be right back. Stay tuned. Something's cooking in the oven. I'm not quite sure what, but it's lunch. And anyways, you don't want it to overcook. So you see the aces have the nervous system within them. 12 bucks US for one deck is not too bad. They got early birds at 10 bucks. Still 9 out of 25 available if you want it. You can get a signed card for $1 US, only in the USA. They don't ship outside US. But why? Signed, why? Who is this guy? Why would you want a signature? One person wants a signature. Wow. I don't like the number cards. Why are the pips all compressed together? Why are the twos weird? It just doesn't make much sense. You got lots of space. Use it. And then the indexes, they're like shoved in the corner. It's not great in my opinion. I mean, it's not horrible. It's not necessarily a bad idea, but it could definitely be better. Also, look at the two on the two of spades. Two of hearts is different. Two of clubs is more traditional. And even the sixes, like every card, every suit has a different pip orientation for some reason. I don't know if it's supposed to represent some kind of nervous system thing or whatever. And then the court cards, they are skeletons. And there's definitely been a lot of decks that are skull and bones and skeleton themed. And they're probably better than this one, in my opinion. And what does the skeletons have to do with the nervous system, quite frankly? I mean, it's also repetitive. Every court card is the same, just a different color. So that's not very appealing. And then the jokers is that. A neuron and a human bonding showing only the brain and the nerves. That's interesting. And this is the back design. It's the nervous system. It's mirror image, so that's always cool. But it's not very appealing. Printed by NBC. And, I mean, that's about all we need to know. Moving on. We got the Ancient Cultures playing cards by Emmanuel Voltaire. It's a relaunch. He's got the glyphs, the Egyptian glyphs, and his Codex deck, it looks like. It's his first two decks reprinted. 67% funded, 27 days to go. Did he run out of ideas? Is that what's going on here? Is this reprinting decks that he's already produced? I'm not a huge fan of using Kickstarter just to reprint decks. They are nice decks. I do like the artwork. I like the style. They're two really nice decks. If you missed out, definitely worth checking out. I'm not sure who is printing them this time around. Okay, they're being printed by NPC, 300 GSM smooth finishing stock. Probably basically the same as his previous decks. And then we got Full Metal Femmes by Michelle Hartso. Not her first deck. She's been doing she's had a few decks lately. They're all sexy women inspired. Nudity warning here. Yes, there is some nudity. It's a very weird one-way back design with a woman's face on it, if that's the back design. Which I think it is. Interesting, sexy faces. Wow. Catwoman, yay. Don't know who's producing it. It's on a UV coated stock. Only 150 decks being produced, so it's pretty limited. Definitely some lovely ladies. But the bat design, yeah, is not great. One-way bat design. These are the other decks he's had. You can actually add on previous decks for 25 bucks each. Bad Girl sketch decks, 1 and 2. Bad Girl pinups. FMF Girls and Guns. Wonderland, Lost, 1 and 2. Muse playing cards. Razor playing cards. Hexagon playing cards. So that's a lot of decks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is her 10th deck, I believe. You see, previous deck. There's only a very few of them available, and they're pretty expensive. And this one is 25 bucks US each as well. So yeah, no thank you. I like it. They look hot. I like the women, but not for that price. Moving on, we got the Hidden Leaves playing cards by Marty the Magician, Marty Gilbert. It is very well funded, 26 days to go. It's got a traditional look to it, old school vintage type look to it, if you will. Here's your court cards. There's no indexes on the cards. They're indexless. Very nice old school court cards and ace of spades and tuck case. And there's your back design. And it shows him. He's a guy who's a magician who has no hands, no fingers, whatever is the case. And he still does magic and whatnot without his hands. Very impressive, very inspiring. And he's got that on the back design, holding some cards. Not quite sure how he manages to do it, but he does it. Apparently, every card has been drawn by him. That's also very impressive and inspiring. And you see the faces, old school, indexless. I like it. It's a fan back number 5, it says. And there's him, without a hand. His inspiration is David Blaine, apparently. It's a cute little dog. So yeah, it's very interesting. Oh yeah, nice. That's a cool gaff card. If that's a gaff card. I'm not sure if it is, but pretty interesting. Although, I'm not sure how usable this deck is going to be for some people, particularly for Magic and whatnot, since it doesn't have indexes, but still a cool deck for playing cards and maybe the odd magic trick. And printed by USB-C, I want to say. $15 US for one deck is not bad. Yes, printed by USB-C, B stock, crust B stock, smooth finish it says. That's interesting. But yeah, it's funded. It's a pretty interesting old school looking deck. Next up, we got the White Rabbit Back Down the Rabbit Hole project from Albino Dragon. 43% funded, 5 days to go. I'm not sure if it's actually going to fund. This is basically a reprint of their previous Alice in Wonderland White Rabbit playing cards. As you can see, there's an unlimited version, and they've also selling some previous decks here, the synthesis decks. Again, not a fan of this. It's not the first project, not the first deck they've reprinted. They've been reprinting every deck, and I don't think that has a place on Kickstarter. Because it's not very creative or original or unique. You're reprinting something that already exists, that was already produced. And it also makes it less valuable and less limited if you're reproducing stuff over and over again. Albino Dragon needs to either find a new artist to produce some new decks, or they need to go away. Because they've been downhill ever since they lost Shane Tyree. And of course, Shane Tyree, let's not even talk about that. Moving on, we got the Galactic Destiny cards, Red Eastern Castle first deck, it says, by Space Station Plaza. Right. It is 28% funded, 26 days to go. Very low goal, apparently. Well, it's an interesting looking tuck case. It's a pretty low goal. $2,800 US. Not a fan at all. Each card has some kind of different artwork to it, representing different things. It's not very attractive. I'm not quite sure. I guess it's inspired by a space station. Interesting Joker. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see what the idea is really with this. And I'm not sure what the back design is even. Is that the back design, a one-way back design? Because if this is the back design, that's pretty horrible. If it's not the back design, they're not showing us the back design for some reason. Oh, never mind. No, okay, yeah, that's a Joker. I was thinking that would not be bad as a back design, but it's a Joker. What is the back design? I don't know. But this is a definite pass, without question. And we'll skip the Oracle decks. Of course, there's this Jimi Hendrix card game thing by Lee Chun Ball. 3% fun in 19 days draw. It's not even gonna fun. Let's not even worry about it. Lots of Oracle decks and Tarot decks. We'll talk about that one. And that's it for Kickstarter. Stay tuned. We'll look at some other non-Kickstarter stuff in a minute. Yeesh, this is going to be a long video, but I'll try to wrap it up pretty quickly. There's this deck that I came across on United Cardists, the Lucky Hands card deck by Malika Favre. It's an interesting looking deck, interesting looking court cards, although they're pretty much repetitive. I mean, the body's a bit different. You look at these queens here, but the face is the same from the looks of it. Only 500, numbered and signed. But 60 pounds for a deck, actually 300 I should say. No thank you. I don't know who printed them. I don't know what the quality is like. But 60 pounds is an absolute pass for a deck like this. If it was better, if there was more images, you know, maybe. I know it's limited, it's only 300, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's valuable. Moving on, you got the Missoula deck on Indiegogo. It's 30% funded. 9 days left. It is not going to fund. It's a pretty weird looking deck. I'm actually not sure if there's any other decks on Indiegogo, but we can probably try to have a quick look. Or maybe not such a quick look. The ribbon playing cards, printed by USPC, and Tangled Ribbon to a Maze. There's nothing amazing about that. But we'll have a look at that very quickly. Creepypasta playing cards, that failed. Manticore. There's nothing else really new. Steam Riot, that was kind of interesting looking. Sardier. A lot of failed projects, as you can see. And there's actually one more thing we're going to go to. Ribbon playing cards. 2% funded. Oh, this one ended already, but I'll look at it anyways. Standard core cards. Colorful, simple back design. No thank you. Couple more things to mention here very quickly. Murphy's Magic has well, they have quite a few new decks. The T decks, some Superior brand decks, and other decks from Conjuring Arts. More interesting is that they have the Chicken Nugget Jumbo deck, which I did not get previously in the project, but I have gotten now. $30 on the resale price. It's the Chicken Nuggets, obviously the jumbo size, twice the size of a regular deck, in a special tuck case. Now I'm getting hungry. I want some chicken nuggets. But yeah, why not? I figured. Playing card decks. I got a couple new decks that I've picked up as well. Sort of new. They got this Wild West in black, which apparently is a new 2017 print. I have the previous releases in red and black. And, you know, I picked this up just, you know, it's only $5 each in. It's a nice custom deck. It's a new print. And I'm curious to see if there's anything majorly different. I don't think so. It looks the same to me. But it is what it is. I'm not even sure. I didn't even review the black one before from the looks of it. So now I will. And there's the rodeo playing cards. It is a weird, kind of horrible one-way bat design, as you can see. And kind of weird jokers. But it is completely custom Nice custom pips. So, I mean, despite the fact that the back design isn't the best, and it's one way, it's not horrible, and it's only $5. Why not? And it's also a new-ish release, 2017 release, it says. And there's one more you'd like to talk about. It is new from Illusionist. It's the Sparrows in Black, based on their previous liquor-themed releases. It's a reprint. It's a new print of a deck that they released before, the Sparrows Tequila deck. Except it is in black. Nice looking tuck case. A nice back design. Simple but highly detailed back design. Here's your Joker. A lot of detail. Nice court cards. They're different. They're unique. I like different. I like unique. A nice Ace of Spades. You know, I got no problem with it. I saw somebody commented that was ugly on United Artist. I disagree. I think it's interesting, and I look forward to getting it. What I don't like is that Illusionist has been releasing new decks like every couple of weeks, it seems. At least once a month. It's like, you order a deck. I got one coming, the Illusionist E-Team deck, whatever you want to call it. And it's coming. It should be here. It's going to be here tomorrow. And already there's another new deck available. It seems like before I even get the last deck I ordered, there's another one here. And I mean, so far they've had Pink Rounders. They've had the Saturn Hyperspace, Sea Separate, that E deck. Now they got this one. It's getting out of hand. Not to mention, of course, some of the previous decks they had going into the end of last year. Anyways, that is it for this week. I apologize the video is a bit long this week, and if it's a bit late as a result. But that is that. Comment, rate, subscribe. It's a pretty long video. I apologize. There's a lot to talk about this week. The last couple weeks have been relatively short. We'll see you next time with more. That's enough.